Hello, and welcome to the Women's Rugby Pod, episode 171. Great guests coming for you later on in the show. Flakey George, Gloucester-Hartpury and Wales fly half. Her first ever podcast appearance. Fascinating chat with her, talking all about her club rugby and international aspirations as well with Wales. Sadia is caught up in England camp, busy preparing for the Six Nations. She'll be back next week to tell us all about the goings on at St George's Park. And we have a new co-host joining us as well next week. And as ever, we'll have news from all over the world. Sevens, Sweden, and that England squad that was announced last week. We'll just have a quick look at that. Let's remind you of the PWR Round 9 results from the weekend before we get to Craigie. Saturday saw Bristol beat Harlequins 26-7. Craigie's Gloucester-Hartpury took on league leaders Saracens, beat them for only the third time, the first time ever at home. 24-15 the final score. Ealing Trailfinders, well, they travelled to the ever-improving Loughborough Lightning, who came out on top 45-21. On Sunday, it was a bottom two that went head-to-head, and Leicester picked up their first ever PWR win, 22 points to 19. Congratulations to them. So that means Saracens remain top, having played 8 on 35 points. Gloucester-Hartpury hot on their heels, 35 points, but they've only played 7. Exeter again played 7 on 28 points. They play Sale this weekend. Bristol in the last playoff spot, 24 points, having played 8. And Loughborough Lightning rocketing up the table, now sit 5th on 21. Quins and Ealing on 13 each, with a single point between them in terms of points difference. That loss to Leicester with Sale's 6th game. They sit on 8 with Leicester on 7. So just to confirm, that solitary game this weekend on Sunday at the Corpac, 1 o'clock, Sale against Exeter. If you are in the vicinity, do get down to the Corpac. Promise some reaction, I suspect, from Sale after losing to Leicester last weekend. But let's hear all about the league. Let's hear all about how the champions have made it 7 from 7 and how the Six Nations is shaping up for Flakey George. It is a very, very warm welcome to Flakey George onto the Women's Rugby Pod. Hello, good morning. How are you? Belated happy birthday. Did I get your name right?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Just about right. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Come on then. Exactly how is your name pronounced? Because it's one of the toughest ones out there, I have to say, as a broadcaster, commentator, what have you.
So it's Lleucu.
Lleucu.
Lleucu, yeah.
Lleucu. Okay, Lleucu. I'm going to little hamster thing going on with the cheeks. Okay. Does that annoy you when people get it wrong? And I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't say it annoys me. I'm pretty used to it now. I wouldn't say many people do say it 100% right anyway, but you get a few funny ones, which is you got to laugh.
Come on, what's the funniest? Can you share?
Well, I go by Flake, so Flakey is the main one at Gloucester. Yeah, there's a few others, but I'll keep them.
Is it on you've known for ages and you've said it repeatedly to them and they just still can't get it right?
Yeah, I think it's not really a sound that is in many languages, I don't think. So I do try my best to help the girls as much as I can, but it just doesn't come to some people.
Indeed. Well, you're very chilled out about it, and apologies if we do in the heat of the moment get it slightly wrong. Look, enough of how to pronounce your name, but I think these things are important. Great win of the weekend. Let's go there first. That's the freshest bit of news. 24-15 against Saracens. That means you go 7 from 7. How much fun was that?
Yeah, it was. It's up there with probably one of the best wins this season for us. The pack we had was insane. Kept us on front football for the majority of the game, and yeah, we were glad to come away with the win at the end.
Because it's rare things wins for Gloucester-Hartpury over Saracens. I understand it's only your third win instead of 17 attempts. Was that spoken about in the lead up to the game?
No, I don't think anyone mentioned it at all. Actually, like a few of us said after the game, it was the first time we'd won against Saracens at home. I think that took a few of us by surprise, but no, it's nice to sort of check that off. But yeah, we were going into the game like fully well knowing that it would be a huge battle.
I mean, it always is a huge battle, and somebody described it as full-blooded, and I would totally concur. Up there, sort of test match kind of standards, really, in terms of physicality. That surprises me because your second album syndrome now, isn't it? You've gone and lifted the pot, an incredible day at Queen's Home, at your home place, but often that second album, you got to look for motivations in any sort of places you can, and obviously like a milestone, beating Saracens, you say the first time at home, lost the last three, etc., into your third victory. So it's just every week is kind of the same in the build up then, in kind of grabbing motivation from places. It's just we'll just carry on as a circus and crack on and keep enjoying it.
Yeah, 100%. Like obviously we had an unbelievable season last year, lifting the trophy, and we've come into this season completely fresh, really. And obviously there's like two new teams in the likes of Leicester and Ealing. So the league is changing really every week. There's more competitiveness. So we can't really afford to switch off too much and be complacent. With very much, we go into every week looking at analysis of that certain team and see what we can do to put our best foot forward then for the weekend.
I'm sorry to drill down on this, that terrible expression, I can't think of a better one, but that amazed me that you just kind of almost like, I mean, Wayne Barnes had a little sticker on his arm, didn't he? And it said reset. And every time he felt himself sort of thinking about stuff, he'd go to reset. So that's basically what you did at the beginning of the season. It wasn't, come on, that was a great championship. We're champions. Oh, we would be properly great if we could back that up. That kind of hasn't been talking about. It was a complete reset. We go again.
No, I wouldn't say it has been talked about. Like obviously we did well last season, but I think a lot of teams would come in talking about, we are the champions. But last season is gone now. It's a new season. And it's more like we have to go and do it all again. It's not like we don't have that right to, automatically be in that top four. We have to earn that right to get there. So, yeah, we take every week, every game as it comes.
Wow, fair enough. Let's get into the game a little bit more. Started with a bang. Kelsey over for a hat-trick. I mean, if her smile couldn't get any wider. And those crucial scores, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, for me, either side of half-time were absolutely key. And keeping that control, certainly the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's something we've been talking about a lot over the last 3 weeks is keeping that control both sides of half-time. Probably in the games, 3-4 games leading into Sarries, we struggled with that a bit. We either let them score last in the first half, or the team came out and scored first in the second half, and it can really change the momentum of the game, and kind of put you on the back foot almost, and feel like you're chasing the game then for the rest of the half. But yeah, I think I got to credit the pack. Like our driving maul, I think, was incredible, and it was nice for Kelsey to dot down 3 times in that game. You can see on her face how much it meant to her and how much it meant to the team.
Yes, I think it's reasonably safe to say Kelsey Jones wears her heart on her sleeve. Certainly does. She's great character to have around, and it seems like you got a load of good characters. Lots made of the leadership that Mo Hum brings to it. But there's lots of characters in there. How does it all gel and mix? Is there a freedom to be yourself, express yourself on and off the field?
Yeah, we've obviously got people that have different roles in the team. Mo's very much a leader, probably on the field and off the field, but we've got other people that can step up, the likes of Sam Monaghan, Zoe O'Croft when she's fit, and we've got like leaders in the back line who help me as much as possible, likes of like Karen Lake, Tat. So there's people who drive things in different ways. I'd like to think that it all kind of gels quite nicely at the minute. I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can from them, because probably leading with a voice is probably not my strong point, but I'd like to think I try and do that through the way I play. So, yeah.
And you've obviously identified that as a work on. And how do you work on that? It's literally pushing yourself to open up the mouth and continue to talk at everything you do.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of too much talking, but I try and step up when something needs to be said, or it's just looking to do it a little bit more in training. Where if we're in a certain drill and I see something, I try and voice up what I'm thinking. Then it's coming, but it definitely doesn't come naturally to me. I'm quite quiet off the field, but it's definitely something that I'm trying to work on to improve myself as a player.
Well, you wouldn't know this morning, talking away fabulously on a podcast. Look, it's been a great game so far. You had to wait that week one, didn't you? With a bye, then a 50-pointer against Leicester, and beat your rivals Bristol. Tight one against Exeter Chiefs, bounce for ball. Down that left-hand side, Mia Venom, wasn't it? Smash quiz, 31-19. 42-24 against Loughborough. Ealing, Saracens, mentioned at the weekend. What's been the toughest game, and who do you expect, should you make the top four, to meet again?
I would definitely say sort of physicality-wise, probably the big ones, Sarries and Exeter were probably the biggest challenges physically. I got to say, Ealing really brought everything to us 2 weeks ago. They really pushed us right until the end. They even got the last score of the game. So it's quite exciting to see, obviously it being Ealing's first season, exciting to see where they could go. But it's difficult to say at the minute, but I'm not sure what the changes are in mid-table, but we'll have to wait and see, I think, who makes that top four.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a battle royal to get into that top four, though. Yeah, I would say you and Sarries are kind of drifting away a little bit. You mentioned Ealing there, and how impressed you were with them. What about the other new side, Leicester?
Yeah, well, they obviously got their first win. In the league on the weekend. I think they will definitely take lots of confidence from that. They probably got their own goals of what they want to achieve this season, but they've definitely got some players in that team where they're world class, like Meg Jones. She's pretty sharp, so if they can get those players into the game as much as they can, then anything can happen, really. But it's good to see the brand new teams in the league, competing and showing what they're capable of.
Yeah, I did mention last week there's some points difference, something like nearing 400 difference between top of the table Saracens and them. So delighted to to see them get their first win over Sale, who we've kind of spoken about quite a bit. Quite sure what's going on there. We'll get a Sale player on soon and get to the bottom of that. Bristol, good win over Harlequins for Bristol. What did you make of Bristol? Obviously beating them. They're coming up again shortly. What did you make of Bristol and similarly Harlequins?
I think Harlequins are in a bit of a tough place in terms of results. But you know, when Bristol can keep the ball and move you around the field, they cause
you troubles, don't they? Bristol, when they're really formatted, not formatted, but quite a structured side, aren't they? And when they're allowed to do that, they're really dangerous. Got a very good backline.
Yeah, they have got a very good backline. Obviously signing Holly Aitchison this year. Pulling the strings with Amber Reid, and they've got some quick wingers as well. So if they can get those players into space, then they are quite threatening.
And Loughborough Lightning, 45-21 over Trailfinders. In respect to what you said again with Trailfinders, took you to right to the wire. That's a really good result from Loughborough. They seem to be growing and building after a bit of a sea change coming off season.
Yeah. I was surprised really by that score. I didn't expect it to be such a gap in the score, such a high scoring game. But Loughborough do seem to be growing game on game into the season. You know, we're only halfway into the season, so we can see what they're trying to do, and hopefully they can keep improving in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move from one red shirt to another. Wales. WXV, in terms of results, wasn't probably where you wanted it to be. But in the last couple of games, you were in that number 10 shirt. How much are you looking forward to hitting the ground running come the Six Nations Cardiff Arms Park against Scotland?
Yeah, it's obviously exciting. Coming off the back of the results, we were quite disappointed. Really, we felt that there should have won games there, which is quite frustrating. But it's probably the tightest we've felt as a squad, as a Welsh squad. So that's good going forward. Hopefully, we can once the league finishes to go into the cup and go into international duty, and hopefully we can right some wrongs really from the WXV and start with a win against Scotland.
Absolutely. And just personally, you're battling for the number 10 shirt, and that will always be the case in international level. El Snowsill has retired, the lovely El Snowsill. Lovely to see her last week at the Lions launch. But that number 10 jersey, you're the incumbent. It's yours to kind of lose. How much are you looking forward to continue to grow in that role? Without that, that heavy competition from El, and actually grow and drive this Wales team forward, not only with your overall playing ability, but with your immense boot as well.
Yeah, it's exciting, really. I wouldn't say it's. Well, I'd say that the shirt is definitely to play for. Obviously, I got my first start in that 10 jersey at WXV, so that was quite exciting for me personally. I've been waiting a long time for that, and yeah, I'd like to think I can help push the team forward, help get us in the right areas of the field with my kicking game. And like we know, the Welsh pack is quite well known, like for their driving mauls, and it's a strong pack. So if we can get us in the right areas of the field, then we can compete and push most teams.
Do you feel ready now, Flakey, to be the master puppeteer at 10 for Wales? Because it does take a time, doesn't it, to get used to international rugby? Is now your time?
I'd like to think so. I've obviously got a lot to learn. I'm still learning a lot from Gloucester, from every game. then obviously it's another step up for international rugby. But yeah, I'd like to think I'm ready to sort of put my name out there and help Welsh rugby move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you can't have done any more with your club form. You've been absolutely outstanding beginning part of this season. So many people talk about the effectiveness of you in a Gloucester-Hartpury shirt, and I do hope that you can continue that into the Wales shirt. Just finally, who's going to win the PWR and who's going to win the Six Nations? No pressure. Gloucester-Hartpury in Wales,
Yeah.
and with your head,
I'd like
Gloucester-Hartpury in
to.
Wales.
Yeah, I'd like to think if we can get to the top four, then it's all to play for on the playoffs then, and maybe we can grab another trophy, Gloucester-Hartpury, but we'll have to wait until that comes. And I think for the Six Nations, we're always striving for that top three finish, especially with the WXV now, to try and stay in that top tier. We'd like to finish top three amongst the likes of England and France, who are world class.
Awesome, very diplomatic, measured answers. Flakey, that wasn't bad. Flakey,
yeah, that's good. Not bad.
Come on. We got it now. It's nailed. Look, thank you so much for joining us. And I know I pushed a little bit there, but you're one of those players doesn't seek the limelight, and it's been a real privilege to have some of your time this morning and get to know you a little bit better. And I know the listeners will thoroughly enjoy listening to you as well. But keep doing what you're doing, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the season in the red of Gloucester-Hartpury and of Wales as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
I'm Shani Williams, and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
Well, huge thanks to Flakey George for going outside of her comfort zone and coming on the podcast. Really great to speak to her, and I thought fascinating chat, especially around Wales and her looking to take that number 10 shirt now ahead of the Six Nations. So just to confirm, this week, the solitary game is on Sunday from the PWR at the Corpac, 1 o'clock, Sale against Exeter. Rest of the news here in the British and Irish Isles. The next round of the Celtic Cup fixtures this weekend. Gwalia host Edinburgh, Clovers travel to Glasgow, and the Wolfhounds go up against Brython Thunder. That Red Roses squad that was announced last week, didn't get a chance to get to it last week with all the Lions news and what have you. Here it is. Forwards: Allen, Atkin-Davis, Beckett, Bottoman, Clifford, Campbell, Callaghan, Hanlon, Hibbert-Jones, Eve Campion, Cabea, Casolo, Matthews, Muir, O'Donnell, Packer, Perry, Powell and Ward. In the backs: Atkinson, Buchanan, Deutsch, Dow, Gregson, Hurd, Hunt, Jones, Meg Jones, that is Kildunn, McDonald, Lucy Packer, Roland, Singh. Unavailable when the score was announced: Allcroft, Cocaine, Duffy, Harrison, Scarrett and Talling. Out of the Six Nations altogether, Sarah Byrne and Nancy McGilvray. Since that announcement, there's plenty of chopping and changing as well. Brooke Bradley, Ella Cromack and Steph Else from Gloucester-Hartpury have come in for Negreri, Reed and Vivas. Congratulations to Campion, Hannon and Buchanan. They are debutantes, as is Brooke Bradley and Cromack and Else. So congratulations for your first inclusion in the international squad. Fly half Millie Hayett has also been added. Carson and Bridger have withdrawn through injury. Yeah, loads of new faces, fresh faces in there, youngsters as well, where they get a chance to sort of play in the Six Nations. But being in that environment, it is very different. Very, very high performance environment. I know Mate's the new coach, very, very hot on the professionalism and the high performance element of it all. And players being rewarded for their form in the PWR as well. The headline admission is Poppy Cleal. She's a contracted player but not included in this training squad. I suppose her twin sister Bryony would have a shout as well. Perhaps we'll get the thoughts as to why that may be with Sadia and you co-host next week. Sweden have beaten the British Army 27-0 at Aldershot here in England as they warm up for the Rugby Europe Women's Championship, which starts on February the 4th. Impressive. So they lost the corresponding fixture in 2019 and 2023. Big up to Tamara Taylor, who is coaching them. Voluntarily, we understand. Bonkers. Short, sharp pod this week. Couple of shout-outs just to finish up with. We've got a big bit of news next week, actually. A new co-host joining us. So that's particularly exciting. Sadia will be back next week, and we'll hear all about the England camp. And we're hoping to have some reaction from the HSBC World 7 Series as well, which gets underway for round 3 this weekend. Good luck to all 12 teams competing. And Brazil's Sevens warrior, as they describe her, Raquel Kochnen, is back and will be competing in Perth this weekend after suffering an ACL injury and breast cancer. Big up to you, Raquel. And the final thing we wanted to mention, we've spoken about Gary Street. Good friend of mine, tremendous human being, a wonderful coach as well, World Cup winning coach 2014. Just a huge influence on so many women, especially here in the UK. The likes of Kim Oliver, Susie Apui, Nolly Wharton, Rachel Burford, all these players through the years, giving lots to the game in lots of different ways. Hit some real bumps in the roads, Gary. We've now set up a GoFundMe page. We're already touching 29,000, so a huge thank you to all those people who've contributed. Campbell Hancock, the Breach family, Ben Ryan's there, Amy Cockayne, Tracy Preston Heard, and everyone else who's donated. Just thank you so much. GoFundMe page, Gary Street. Looking at coming home, there is a return home date for Gary, but it's all that extra physio and all that kind of stuff that comes with that for Flip and the boys as well, Ben and Peter. He has been through a really tough time. So GoFundMe page, Streets Ahead is the title of the GoFundMe page. It's all over our socials as well. So if you have got a couple of spare pounds to throw to Gary's way, then that would be absolutely brilliant. If not, please just share those posts and what have you. We're going to keep you up to date with Gary's progress, of course, and hoping that we might get Flip on the pod next week. His dutiful wife, who is showing incredible bravery as well. So GoFundMe, Streets Ahead, do what you can. Gary, keep fighting, my friend. As ever, it's a big thank you to you, the listeners, to Tom, to Vicky, doing their magic in the dark shadows. We will see you next week. Till then, enjoy your rugby and stay safe.